story, viewers, has been exercising a huge number of people. After Congress leader Udit Raj stoked a massive controversy with his comments against President Murmu, the Congress leader took to Twitter and hurled chamcha or psychophancy barb at the president. Now remember, viewers, we're not just talking about Draupadi Murmu, the person. She occupies the land's highest constitutional office, the president's post. And what Mr. Udit Raj seems to suggest is that she got there because she's a chamcha, forgetting her qualifications, forgetting the fact that she has had to fight the worst forms of discrimination. As a tribal, as an Adivasi, she has had to make, in her own words, take massive strides and cut through a lot of prejudice to make it to the top. And to say this, viewers, many people today are saying is a disservice. Let me open this up and ask some basic questions, but not before we hear the remarks of this Congress leader, Mr. Udit Raj. Listen in.
मैंने कहा कि आदिवासियों के बारे में, दलितों के बारे में कभी नहीं बोलती हैं, और मैंने यह भी कहा कि ये चमचागिरी ही है। तो उनकी एक पहचान राष्ट्रपति के तौर पर वहाँ मैं सम्मान करता हूँ, लेकिन जहाँ तक हमारे प्रतिनिधि हैं, हम उनसे सवाल करेंगे। हम अम्बेडकरवादी हैं, हम समाज की लड़ाई लड़ते हैं, हमारा अधिकार है करने का। दूसरा सवाल करता तो शायद हम उसके खिलाफ खड़े हो जाते, और द्रौपदी जी के लिए हम लड़ेंगे भी और उनसे सवाल भी करेंगे। तो इसको अनावश्यक रूप से कांग्रेस का बताना या इसको विवादित रूप से देखना, यह गलत है।
Let's open this up. Let's ask some basic questions tonight. Does this constitute an insult? If so, why? Let me bring in the BJP national spokesperson first, Sanju Verma. Why do you believe that the Congress party owes an explanation that they need to take action against Mr. Udit Raj, who has also been flagged up by the NCW? Go ahead, very quickly.
You know, Rahul, first and foremost, I think let's be very clear that Udit Raj is a repeat offender. I remember, not so long back, he had posted a tweet mocking at Brahmins and, saying that Brahmins are like pigs, and he actually posted a tweet with a Janayu on a pig. I don't even feel comfortable talking about this, and this man had the audacity to actually post this on his official Twitter handle. But my main point is this: why is it so difficult for the Congress and its lackeys to digest the fact that a tribal woman is the first president of independent India? Why is it so difficult for them to digest the fact that she's broken every glass ceiling and is only the second woman president after Pratibha Patil? Why is it so difficult for them to digest the fact that she's the first woman president born after 1947? The moot point is this: Udit Raj has said what he has to. We all know that he's a repeat offender, but my larger question is, has there been any condemnation from Rahul Gandhi? Has there been any condemnation from Ladki Ho, Lad Sakti Ho, which was made famous or infamous, as it were, by Priyanka Vadra? Has there been any official condemnation in the press by Jairam Ramesh, who otherwise has an opinion on everything under the sun? So the limited point is this, that the Congress actually directly or indirectly has been abetting and encouraging sexist behavior, and this is not the first time it has done so. Don't forget that today the Congress is in alliance with the JDU in Bihar, and none of us have forgotten that Delhi, a few days after Draupadi Murmu taking over as the president, Tejasvi Yadav called her a gudiya. She's going to be a puppet at the hands of the Modi government, and I did not see any regret, any condemnation from any Congress biggie, much less so-called opposition leaders who otherwise, stand in solidarity with anything that has to do with women empowerment.
Okay.
So the last point is, will Jairam Ramesh condemn this diatribe by a close confidant?
Okay.
And I would just end by saying this: for those who say that Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is just being paid lip service to. Please note, 11 cabinet ministers is the highest that women have seen in terms of proportion in a cabinet post-independent India. And today, as we speak, there are 8 cabinet ministers from the scheduled tribe community alone, and more than 9 from the scheduled caste. So Dalits, Adivasis have been given ample opportunities.
Okay, let me just bring some facts onto the books. Okay, let me just bring some facts onto the books before I get in Lokesh Jindal of the Congress party to respond. In her first speech after she became president, President Murmu referred to 4 tribal revolts: the Santhal revolt against the East India Company, the Paika rebellion in Odisha, the Coal revolt against the British in 1831, the Bhil uprising against the British in 1813. She's also spoken about the condition of her community members in the country. Secondly, viewers, this is what Mr. Udit Raj says. No country should get a president like Murmuji. Chamchagiri also has its limits. Now, he's forgotten that she was actually elected. Her name was proposed, but then, viewers, in this country, an election takes place. The opposition propped up their own candidate. We all know who that candidate was. And viewers, a large number of Congress's allies also, and several opposition parties, also backed her candidature. By that yardstick, Draupadi Murmu should be a chamcha of all these political parties, even those in the opposition, including the Congress's allies. So I think Udit Raj has forgotten this. And Mr. Jindal, let me just give you these facts. 126 MLAs in 18 states and 17 MPs actually cross-voted for Draupadi Murmu. Cross-voted. I hope you understand what that means. Maybe they were also, in some ways, taken up by the chamchagiri of Draupadi Murmu and not her message or what she stands for. They had no reasons to cross over, sir. 126 MLAs in 18 states and 17 MPs, and number of political parties, the JMM, etc., all came out in support of the BJD, came out in support. In fact, the BJP's chief and the chief minister of Odisha came out and said that the Prime Minister actually discussed her candidature with me, and I wholeheartedly endorsed it because she's deserving. So are we today, sir, suggesting that nobody from the Adivasi or Dalit community on their own merit can make it to these offices without sycophancy and chamchagiri? Number one. Number two, I just want you to see some photographs on your screen. Can you see Sonia Gandhi there paying a courtesy call to Miss Murmu? Did she also believe that Miss Murmu, Draupadi Murmu, our president, is a chamcha? And if so, why is she there? What are we saying? I think you're on mute. Please, Mr. Jindal.
Why are we linking a personal comment of somebody to that of the party's viewpoint?
Okay.
He has explicitly mentioned that it is his personal view and it has nothing to do with the party. I mean, look at BJP. Why is it so desperate so as to come out with some form of a issue to criticize Congress? It can do better.
Okay.
Now, if you are talking about Congress, Congress has always been committed to the cause of tribals. It was Nehru who gave the title of Rani to Gaidin Liu, the tribal leader from Nagaland. It was Congress who supported Schedule 5, Schedule 6, all forms of social and cultural protections to the tribals, which pitched for all forms of socio-economic and political rights for the tribals. So you cannot say that in any manner has Congress ignored the rights of the tribals or Congress has any form of ignorance towards the cause of the tribals.
So
no,
let me just remind you. Look, 1 second, the 30 seconds. Look, Jindal, I just want to remind you that very recently, not one, not two, but 3 BJP politicians ended up saying things which were quite objectionable to the minorities in our country. And you demanded an apology from the entire BJP. You said this is their mindset, this is what they stand for. And the BJP then, under pressure or what have you, decided to act against these 3 leaders and they suspended or expelled them from the party. why were you asking the entire BJP to apologize for, as you said, the personal comments made by a few leaders?
Because at that point of time, those
because at that point in time, it suited your narrative, right? You should take action against Udit Raj rather than sitting here and trying to create a justification.
Yes,
Nonetheless, let me very quickly, Sanju Verma, why are you making a big deal out of? Why are you making a big deal out of some personal comment by a Udit Raj, a leader who is of no consequence, according to Lokesh Jindal?
Okay, I heard Lokesh Jindal, and I just quickly want to say one thing, which Amit Shah said in April this year when he was inaugurating a tribal function in Madhya Pradesh, that in its 10 years, the Congress-led UPA spent only 21,000 crore for the benefit of tribals. The Modi government in the last 5 years alone has spent 78,000 crore. And Rahul, your audience needs to know that there was the Forest Conservation Act of 1980 and the Forest Rules Act of 2006. And both of these were lopsided against tribals, and the Modi government amended the Forest Rights Act of 2006 to give ownership rights to indigenous communities and indigenous tribes.
Why are you misleading?
Okay. Let's stick to. Let me come back, viewers. I've run out of time. Okay, gentlemen.
Please do not mislead the audience.
Okay, don't mislead. Okay, fair enough. Let's just stop here. Let's just stop here.
Occupancy rights.
Okay, let's just stop here. 1 minute, lower everyone's faders. I need to make a quick intervention. I need to wrap up. Look, viewers, this is what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, leader of the Congress, said. Yes, we'll go to the Rashtrapati. No. Rashtrapatni, he said. This was before the election. The Shiv Sena, as I told you, the JMM, all Congress allies, viewers, all Congress allies have voted for Draupadi Murmu. And Yashwant Sinha said, the battle has now turned into a much bigger battle. This is about whether that person will use his or her rights to save the constitution after becoming president. It is obvious that a rubber stamp president will never try to do that. This was Yashwant Sinha. He was, of course, projected as the opposition candidate, and that became a fight in which he was not given a vote. Because perhaps this is that resentment. I don't know. I leave it at this.